Welcome to a TV20 news break. I'm Dan Monroe. Futureland returned to Cleveland this year. Hosted at Playhouse Square, the theme of this year's Futureland was Thrive. Taking place over a weekend, the Futureland Conference brought local leaders in arts, small business, culture, and tech together to discuss how to move Cleveland in the direction of becoming a more thriving city. Mayor Justin Bibb was a key player in the foundation of Futureland, and a highlight of this year's conference featured him and Mayor of Kansas City, Quinton Lucas, having a panel discussion on what it takes to bring equity and innovation to their cities.
We can't expect to have a modern response to City Hall that's innovative, that's dynamic, that's meeting the basic needs of our residents if I'm not giving all of our employees the tools they need to make that happen. And so we are working around the clock to do that internally. But externally, during the pandemic, Cleveland was ranked the least connected city in the nation. The least connected in the nation. And just last week, we passed legislation to have a $20 million investment to make sure that up to 50,000 families in our city will now have access to high-speed broadband. Huge. Then we're not done yet, because I want to beat Columbus and Cincinnati and Pittsburgh and Kansas City in the future, by the way.
I like it.
We have also attracted a $500 million capital investment to lay fiber in every part in our city, from Lee Harvard to West Park.
And so for me, technology, tech broadly, and the industry means a few different things. One, as we've already talked about, a true growth area in industry, right? We have a Ford and a GM plant. I don't know if they're growing bigger. We're fighting for electric vehicles nearby, but if we don't have that, right, I got to think of another path. As Hallmark that I mentioned before, it moves into more of a media company than a factory producing greeting cards. How do I do something different? So tech is an area that is very interesting for growth. But then in how we utilize it, how do we make sure that we are communicating with our constituents so they can get the best delivered services in the best way?
You can find the full Futureland panel discussion featuring Mayor Bibb and Mayor Lucas airing here on TV20 or on our TV20 Cleveland YouTube page. The City of Cleveland recently kicked off a month of Italian heritage celebration with their annual opening ceremony in the City Hall Rotunda, and Mayor Justin Bibb joined for the event. Here's TV20's Alex McTurna with the story.
I often get asked this question about what makes Cleveland great. On some days, not yesterday, it's our sports teams. Other days, I talk about our amazing arts and culture. Just last week, we saw brand new marquees in Playhouse Square, the second largest theater district in the nation. But it's people. It's people. Cleveland's people is what makes our city great. And the Italian Americans came to this great city in the late 1800s. And have always contributed to the fabric of our great city. And so on behalf of our city, I want to present this special proclamation in recognition of Italian Heritage Month. And I want to encourage all of Clevelanders to recognize the amazing contribution you've had on our history. But I know now more than ever, you have an amazing contribution to our great future ahead as a city. Thanks so much, I appreciate it.
Founded by former City of Cleveland Councilman Matt Zone more than 15 years ago, the Italian Heritage Celebration in the City of Cleveland brings together local dignitaries and activists to celebrate Cleveland's long-standing relationship with its Italian community. Now, the yearly celebration is headed by Council President Blaine Griffin and Councilman Michael Polensik.
I just want to say thank you for being able to come here today. We like to celebrate all of Cleveland's cultures all of the time, but in this month, in this special month, we definitely want to take our hats off to you. I want to thank all of the people who Pamela just said. I know it takes a lot of work to put this together, but as long as I'm here, Councilman Polensik is here, and as the institution of council is here, we will always honor and celebrate Italian culture and heritage in the city of Cleveland.
When you think of Cleveland, you think of the Italian community, you think of contributions, and we all hear that term, the melting pot. I don't really like using the term melting pot. It's the cosmopolitan nature of our city. It's all the various ethnic groups and racial groups and everybody that is here that makes this city so great. I'm so proud of the community, but I'm also so proud of the Italian community for your contributions. And to the honorees who are gathered here, what a wonderful group of honorees that are here. My congratulations to each and every one of them.
The opening celebrations also acted as an awards ceremony, honoring members of Cleveland's Italian community for their contributions to preserving their heritage in their neighborhoods and city. National President of the Italian Sons and Daughters of America, Basil Russo, congratulated the 5 honorees.
I offer my congratulations to our 5 wonderful honorees for all the contributions that they have made to perpetuate our beautiful heritage. We're honored to be here this evening with the 5 of you. Thank you so much for all that you've contributed to our community. We cannot sit idly by while others attempt to erase our heritage, or worse, to rewrite it for us. We must preserve our history.
For TV20, this is Alex Picterna.
Thanks, Alex. You can find the full opening ceremony for Italian Heritage Month airing here on TV20 or on our TV20 Cleveland YouTube page. The Cleveland Cavaliers 2023-2024 NBA season is right around the corner, and the energy throughout Northeast Ohio feels, well, amazing. As usual, the team kicked off the season with their Media Day event that took place at Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse, where tons of media outlets got the chance to connect with the players, coaches, and management. It was a chance for reporters to dig deep into the team's expectations for the upcoming season. Here's what we learned.
I think first and foremost is this season. And I know people talk about the season not meaning much in NBA these days, and I disagree. We got to start building habits, winning habits every day in practice and in games, and the season is very, very important for that. That's going to get us ready for the playoffs. And what's success in the playoffs? We want to have success in the playoffs. Having gone through what we went through last year, I'm not going to label it or pigeonhole ourselves into that, but I do want that to come from the players as well. And so as we go through this first week, through training camp, I want you to ask them, what's success here? What are their collective goals? What are they going to own as a team and as players? I think I know what the answer is going to be, and I want to be behind that. But we want to go through this season and really prepare ourselves for postseason and then have success in the postseason.
All-star guard Donovan Mitchell is under contract with the Cavs for the next 2 seasons and has a $37 million player option for 2025 to 2026. Mitchell is eligible to sign an extension now, but he said if he were to commit to the Cavs long-term, it wouldn't happen until summer at the earliest.
Obviously, for myself, I want it to be known that I still have the opportunity to sign an extension next summer. I don't think a lot of people understand that aspect. But right now, for me, my focus is like I just said, we added some new additions. We obviously had a season that you could kind of rate went really well until it went really poorly. So for us, it's, that's where all of our heads are at. That's where my head is at, and I think I'm really excited about what we've got going here, and I think that's the biggest thing, especially for myself, is like, look, we could do something special. That's why I relayed to George and Max when I told them about coming here. And, ultimately, when the season's over, we'll get to that. I've addressed that with the front office and whatnot. So for me, that's my biggest thing is, I still have an opportunity to do the same thing next summer. And I know it's a world where there's always talk. This won't be the last time I probably have to answer this question, but for me, we got something really special we can do here, and I think it starts with this season, and that's the main goal.
Cavs forward Evan Mobley put on 7 pounds of muscle in the offseason after investing in a nutrition program and a home gym.
Yeah, that was a big focus going into this summer. I feel like as a player, just me growing and getting better, adding that aspect to my off-season work and also on-season as well is really going to help me and benefit me. So that's the reason why I chose to do it. And also added weight room into my house and had chef and nutrition as well throughout the whole summer, just trying to build my body up. And I feel like your body's like the temple, and as long as you keep building that up, everything else will follow.
Did you gain weight in the off season, or like, can you tell us like what you may have, right now?
Last season playing weight was probably around 215. It would fluctuate up and down. Right now I'm like 222-ish. So I feel like I gained about like 7 pounds of muscle throughout this whole process, and I'm still working as well through the season as well. So.
Karis LeVert explained he had shoulder surgery last summer and it affected his preparation for last season. This offseason, the small forward who re-signed with the Cavs in July has been healthy.
Last summer, not a lot of people knew, but I had shoulder surgery, so I wasn't able to, train the way I wanted to. But, this offseason, I was able to train the whole way through, so I was able to get some great work in. So I'm excited for the season for sure.
Over the past 4 seasons, Tristan Thompson has bounced around to 5 different teams. He re-signed with the Cavs to give some veteran leadership and inject some toughness to the team.
Part of me always wanted to come back. I knew, life works very in mysterious and strange ways. I always felt like at some point in my life I would return back here, whether it was a player or whatever it may be. Of course, player would be number one. So I'm glad I'm back.
When we looked at the 14th roster spot, we wanted to be very intentional on who we brought in, what they were going to bring to this roster and to this organization. Tristan can still play, right? He played in the conference finals this last year, so that's part of it. But you're absolutely right. I think the toughness, the experience, also having been here, drafted here, winning several rounds of the playoffs here, a championship here, it's even more meaningful for us in this fan base. And to be quite honest, the players and what it means to bring Tristan Thompson back here. I think he's going to inject some of that toughness. I think you guys have been around us the last few years. We're kind of quiet. Tristan's not quiet in a very, very good way. So he's going to push us, and he's going to push us to heights we hope we can get to when we had him as our starting center.
Finally, after ending last season with a 51-31 record and earning the 4th seed in the Eastern Conference playoffs, the Cavs were defeated by the Knicks in the first round. The toughness of the team, and Jared Allen in particular, was questioned this entire offseason. Coach J.B. Bickerstaff addressed those accusations.
The outside noise and those who judge and critique, they don't change how we feel about our guys, and that doesn't make us waver. We understand that all of us have to be at our best in order for us to achieve what we want to achieve. But the outside noise doesn't matter. People's comments from, wherever who aren't a part of what we do every single day doesn't matter. And our guys know that. And we're not going to change how we feel about our guys because, people who are on the outside feel like they have a comment. We believe in Jared, always have, and that's the only thing that matters.
Cleveland Cavaliers Media Day set the stage for what promises to be an action-packed season ahead. Little Italy was once again filled with people looking to watch this year's annual Columbus Day Parade. It was a day of celebration in the heart of Little Italy as the Italian Americans of Northeast Ohio celebrated their heritage. With a kickoff at Holy Rosary Church earlier in the day, the parade took down Mayfield Road, featuring more than 100 groups representing local organizations, schools, and businesses. Floats, dancers, bands, and more paid tribute to the vibrant culture and spirit of Little Italy. Whether you're a longtime resident of Little Italy or just visiting for the day, it was a fun-filled celebration of community and heritage. Couldn't make it to this year's Columbus Day Parade? No worries, TV20 has you covered. You can watch the full parade on our TV20 Cleveland YouTube page. For over 100 years, October 8th through the 14th is Fire Prevention Week, and this year's topic was preventing fires while cooking. Cleveland Fire Lieutenant Mike Norman held a special press conference to address some safety points while in the kitchen this holiday season.
So cooking safety starts with you, and you want to make sure when you're going to cook that you're ready to cook, that you aren't under the influence of alcohol or drugs, that you're not tired. Also, are you dressed appropriately? You don't want to have loose-fitting clothing, something that could be a fire hazard as you're leaning over the stove. You want to make sure that kids and pets are kept out of the kitchen, that you have 3 foot of clearance around the stove, and make sure that there are no flammable items anywhere near the heat sources. You don't want to have paper towels or drapes, anything near the stove. You want to make sure that you stay in the kitchen if you have something on the stove top. If you have things in the oven, you want to make sure that you stay home. In the event that there is a fire, you want to make sure that there's either a metal cover, a metal lid, or a cookie sheet available, and you're going to slide that over to smother the fire. If the fire is in the oven, kill the heat source and just keep the oven door shut. A fire inside an oven isn't really a hazard. You just smother it out by keeping the oven door shut. If you have a fire extinguisher in your house, it's a good investment for your family. You want to make sure the fire extinguisher is located in the means of egress from the fire room. With a fire extinguisher, if you're going to put the fire out with a fire extinguisher, PASS is the acronym, P-A-S-S. So that's pull the pin, aim, squeeze, and sweep. And we're going to be putting the fire out at the base of the fire, not the flames themselves. And if you, in the event that you are burned for some reason, you want to treat burns with cool water. The only thing that you can't replace in your house is yourself and your family.
Organized by Metro Health and the Vernon Family Foundation, the inaugural Multicultural Women's Health Fair and Empowerment Expo seeks to provide women from every background and stage of life with the empowerment to be advocates for their own health and well-being. Here's TV20's Alex Picterna with the story.
With activities like health screenings, keynote addresses, and giveaways taking place across the Huntington Convention Center, Dr. Ajaysha Long hopes that women in attendance for the expo can give back to themselves after giving so much to others.
We know that sometimes for women, we are often the last on the list when it comes to taking care of our physical health, our mental health, and other things that have to do with just thriving and living and surviving. So when we think about empowerment, we're thinking about the things that we do to build ourselves up, to pour into ourselves. Again, oftentimes as women, a lot of our energy is going outward towards other people, towards other roles, to other things. But what's important when it comes to empowerment is that in order to be able to function in any of those roles, we have to be empowered to take care of ourselves first, because that's the only way we're going to be able to function well.
One of the vendors at the expo were the I'm in Transition recovery and counseling service. For those battling drug addiction, admitting you have a problem is the first step on the road to recovery and empowerment. Executive Director Jennifer Calloway shared some of the steps her organization takes to help those with an addiction.
A lot of times, one thing about individuals that is suffering from drug addiction, they don't know what to do, where to turn. Only thing they know is that they have to feed this addiction. And there are resources out there like us that can point them in the direction that can help save their life, ultimately save their lives. There's a continuum of care that is definitely needed after treatment. After 30-day treatment or 60-day treatment, 90-day treatment. I work with, and I sit on the board for Ohio Recovery Housing, which is qualitative housing. And it's so important that we have a healthy place for people to recover. That's what's important. A structured place, a clean place, a safe place. And that's what's important.
I spoke with Brenda Campbell, an attendee of the expo, and asked her for her opinions of the event and what she would say to other women who might be neglecting their health.
It's about your health, your diabetes, your high blood pressure, your mental illness, your stability. That's what's important to me. And that's why I came, because I knew it's some tools that I needed was here. Don't be afraid. Some of us are afraid because you're scared your high blood pressure may be up, your diabetes may be up. So I feel like we need to come out and get our health checked, because we need to know what is going on within inside of us that we women need to know about. So come out and get checked out and see what is really going on with your health.
For TV20, this is Alex Picterna.
The families of Cleveland came out to enjoy an afternoon of fishing at the Rockefeller Lagoon. Here's TV20's Alex Picterna with more.
Sponsored by the Cleveland Metroparks Youth Outdoor Initiative, children were taught the basics of fishing while also being provided bait and reels, all free of charge.
Today we are out here fishing with some of the local youth of inner city Cleveland. We're teaching them the basic skills of how to fish. We have the casting over here behind me. We're going to teach them the basic skills to cast their rod and reel. And it's super important to me personally because the look on their faces when they catch their first fish is so rewarding and just so important. Like the thrill of catching their first fish and knowing they did it all themselves. Other than that, I mean, people need something like this in their community. It's really important.
The fishing workshop comes as a collaboration between the Cleveland Metroparks and Doan Brook Watershed Partners, who provided additional fish for the event. Cleveland Metroparks Youth Outdoor Initiative partners with multiple nonprofits across the city to provide for the children of Greater Cleveland.
Cleveland Metroparks Youth Outdoors is a unit within Outdoor Experiences with the Cleveland Metroparks. We're focused on partnerships within the city of Cleveland, youth-serving organizations such as Cleveland City of Cleveland Recreation Centers, and or nonprofit organizations or faith-based organizations. We establish partnerships and relationships to create adventure clubs in which we take youth ages 8 to 18 out to the Cleveland Metroparks and provide outdoor recreation-based experiences, nature-based experiences on a monthly basis, and trying to develop some outdoor skills in the process.
Volunteer for the Cleveland Metroparks, John Rohde, explained why he thinks fishing is such an important life skill to have.
Our event is really geared to get young, maybe never have fished before kids on the water and catch their first fish. If they're veteran fishing kids, come on down too. We're at beautiful Rockefeller Lagoon, which has a variety of fish that live here year-round. I call them resident fish. We have bluegills, bass, bullhead catfish, some channel catfish, as well as black crappies and green sunfish and pumpkin seeds. So we have a lot of fish that live here anyways. Through a grant through Holden Park's foundation, we get funding to stock additional fish in the water. By stocking fish, we provide catchable, edible size fish to enhance the fishing opportunities. Better chance that kids catch fish, better chance that people can put some food on the table by catching the wonderful fish that are in here.
Even as a last-minute family outing, Cleveland residents were enjoying the opportunity to catch live fish with their friends and loved ones.
Yesterday, I just came past on the humbug. I seen the guys filling the thing up. So I asked somebody, and they was like, hey, they got youth fishing tomorrow. My son's been asking me, can they go fishing? So King and Nasir, I say, well, okay, cool. I bring them down there. And when I bring them down here, it was like, hey, let's go. And now I got that out the way, and these guys fish. I inspired other fathers to fish and bring their kids out, nephews, brothers, whoever. If you ain't got a father figure in your life, I hope that someone could, bring they child out to fish and learn and teach them, because this is how you can eat. And look at that, my son caught another fish.
For TV20, this is Alex Picturna.
Thanks, Alex. Finally, it's my favorite time of the year. Fall has arrived in Cleveland. To celebrate, Downtown Cleveland Incorporated held a fall festival at Voinovich Park. Felicia Jackson, Programming and Activation Coordinator for Downtown Cleveland, Inc., said this is the first time a Fall Fest took place in North Coast Harbor.
We wanted to invite all of Greater Cleveland down to enjoy the harbor during its off-season and invite people to this large, beautiful park. This weekend's Fall Festival, we have a ton of different community partners here with activations. So we have the Cleveland Public Library handing out books. Cleveland Inc., Downtown Cleveland Inc. has pumpkin painting for the kids. We'll have a food truck and live music going on.
The Cleveland Fall Fest takes place over the first 3 weekends in October, concluding October 21st. Each of the days comes with a different theme.
This weekend is Flannel Fun Day, so definitely come down and dress warm, but wear your flannel underneath your jackets. The next weekend is our Hey Hooray weekend, and we do have some photo ops with hay bales and pumpkins for the family to enjoy with our vendors. And our last weekend is our Boo Bash. For more information on everything happening in downtown Cleveland, visit downtowncleveland.com.
Well, TV20 is streaming live 24/7. Visit TV20cleveland.com to see our live feed and more. Stay connected with TV20 wherever you go by liking and following us on Facebook, X, and Instagram, and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube page to watch our numerous programs. Thanks for watching TV20 News. I'm Dan Monroe. Be sure to stay tuned for more on TV20. We are Cleveland.